Hello everyone, MUFS here to welcome you to the 83rd episode of Starfield. In the last episode we visited the Earth.
Heaven is having a smooth running ship with
And
a crew of friends.
I would like to go and try to collect more books so that we can actually visit those landmarks. Okay, so first step would be I have a list of places to go today. So the first step would be Jamison, in the mast. Let's go there. Okay, we have to go over here. Sorry that today's episode will be kind of boring, but it is gonna be like that. Office of the President. Let's go. So yeah, President's office over here. Uh-oh. That's a bad news. We need to read this book, but we'll have to serve if we take the book like that. Let's try to take it.
The whole of the settled systems are in your debt, whether they know it or not.
Wouldn't you want to pay the debt by giving me this book?
This is the first step in our long march against the Terramorphs. But we'd be going nowhere if it weren't for you.
Yeah, I know. That is why I would like to... Yeah. I would like to get this book, but you wouldn't consider it stealing, would you? Where did I keep that thing? Come on. Let's... Is it okay to grab it from here? I believe so. Let's take this one. Okay, when it became widely accepted that the Earth would have to be evacuated, a group of prominent architects teamed together to produce this book. It contains a bonanza of high-definition pictures, detailed floor plans, and behind-the-scenes information about the architectural wonders of some of the great cities of Earth. New York, London, Washington, D.C., Paris, and Tokyo are the central focus. In this reprinting, one of the primary architects of New Atlantis acknowledges how inspirational she found these pages and how it influenced the design of the city she was building. This book is considered to be one of the most important tomes of architectural history.
I suppose that is ours now.
Yes, babe?
Eh?
That is. So, one down. Let's go to the next one, which should be Hope Town. Well,
by the way, Captain, Sergeant Ymir was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Sure. I will talk to him. But let's go to Hope Town. Should be in Velo. Yeah. Polvo. Over here. Hope Town. Okay. So there's a possibility that there will be firing and everything.
I don't want to hear any complaints.
Me neither. Babe, why don't you do one thing?
Keep
You
an eye
come
on your
with me.
valuables.
A fair amount of business runs through Hope Town. And from what I understand, most of it is legal.
Babe,
To what do I owe this pleasure?
you stay over here.
I will keep watch from here.
Sure. Don't come inside. Oh yes, they are attacking me. I thought so. They are going to...
This is crazy!
Yes, this is crazy. I killed your boss many years ago. Why are you still attacking me? Go, 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 go. I can't do anything about him now. And I cannot steal because this guy is looking at me. Where did you come from?
Off-worlders. Nothing good ever comes from them. Just keep it holstered. Workers like to play hard here. They deserve it.
Yeah. And you guys are coming too. Yes. That's a good one. Go, go, go. Who's detecting me? That guy, that woman. Okay, let me... This is a detailed family tree of Ron Hope's family. The record goes as far back as Earth, where the Hope family resided in a city called Los Angeles, near the Pacific Ocean. Okay, Los Angeles was found already.
The next CEO of HOTAS got named.
So, if that is already over there, come on! I didn't expect you to shoot me from there.
As long as you keep the
Hello,
peace,
love.
Let's
you're
get
good
moving.
in my book.
I'm with you.
Sure, I know. You are with me. Whew! Now, believe it or not, we have to go to Aquila City. Shan. What is Rel? Anyway, let's go to Aquila City.
Quite a long history to this place.
Yes.
It is a testament to humans' refusal to concede defeat in the face of adversity.
Hey,
Or what?
okay, there is a bookstore over here somewhere. I'll have to go there.
Hey, I heard you had Dunlop's disease.
Huh? What? No, I don't
Let me check the map. This is the one on our left, I believe.
Disease. What is that?
It should be over.
Your belly done what?
Oh, yeah, Sinclair Books. That one. But we have been over here. And
if you want to purchase anything, just let me know. Or if you have any rare finds. So many books to read in so little time.
you really love books, don't you?
Movies, slates, theater, all have their appeal. But books, you can get a window to mankind in its earliest days. Whether adventure with Homer, or the actual thoughts of Julius Caesar penned in his own hands. And they offer visions of the future and wonderfully impossible things and might-have-beens. So, yeah, I do like books.
Do you run this store by yourself?
Yes, I had a husband, but he's no longer with us. We loved to travel, and always we'd be looking for rare books. Most of what you see here are mementos. It's sometimes hard to sell, but books are not meant to be hoarded. They're meant to be shared and spark something in us.
Are there any books you're looking for?
I am a bit of an aficionado of old Earth novels. Well, truth be told, it's more of an obsession. Reading their stories is a revelation, not only for, the pure imagination, but the window you get into long-gone historical eras. I'll pay handsomely for any books you find like that. Except Charles Dickens. Definitely not Charles Dickens.
What's wrong with Charles Dickens? Exactly my question.
Oh, nothing wrong at all. When colonists were forced to leave Earth for good, cargo space was precious, and for some reason everyone thought to bring their Charles Dickens collection. No, I mean he was an amazing writer. His stories are timeless, but what I'd give for a copy of Sense and Sensibility, or The Three Musketeers, oh! The original Three Musketeers, mind you, not the dozens of interpretations of it.
You can read anything you want on digital.
If you call that reading.
Yeah. If I have any books for you, your old Earth collection, I'll sell them to you.
Oh, I'm afraid there's nothing you have that I don't already have. Sorry.
I'd like to see what's for sale.
Certainly.
So here I am. I need to find a book called The Ancient Civilization of Egypt. This one. And rest we can find in everywhere. So let's read the book. When the ancient world was young, the civilization of Egypt was already old. The pyramids of Giza still tower over Cairo and awed Roman legionaries and Napoleon soldiers as much as any modern visitor. But it was more than a tourist destination. The fertile Nile was a key bread basket and valuable source of revenue for thousands of years. Its influence on the Mediterranean was and is profound. Using the latest technology, we have new insights and glimpses into the rise of ancient Egypt and how its society changed over the many years. So come with us on a trip through the land of pharaohs and pyramids. So starts a definitive work of the history of Egypt by a collection of unknown archaeologists and anthropologists, published in 2133. So we are done over here. Next stop would be Titan. And that would be in Seoul, I believe, if I'm not wrong. In our solar system. Supposed to be a moon. Yeah, Titan. There it is. New homestead. Let's visit there.
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. You're cleared to land at New Homestead.
Sure. We did not scan it.
Welcome to New Homestead. Please make your way to the building at the end of the path and down into the colony below.
Sure.
Stay safe and enjoy your visit.
Okay. Let's set this mission. Okay, so apart from the one in
There is value to be found in looking back through history.
Siren of the Stars. One is found in the Siren of the Stars, which I did not collect, so I won't be able to get that one now because Siren of the Stars is
Heads up if you're planning
not
on going
there
to
anymore.
chunks. Luther's been bothering anyone with a ship for help.
Speak with Luther, that I will do. So we can go back to Key, which we will, I believe, because it seems that we have left a book in the Key. I shouldn't have, but somehow I did. So there is supposed to be a museum down there. Let's find that one and there is the museum.
Very informative. I didn't know about the methane harvesters before coming here.
Maurice Leon's journal. Scanning Earth was astonishing. There's just nothing. The whole planet is covered with sand and will never support life again. I did scan after scan of the major population centers and returned nothing. I did get a glimmer on the ancient site of Hong Kong. It was faint. I wasn't sure. I just imagined it. But I landed there. And there, amazed, the unrecognizable sands was something. What was this edifice? This monument of a now dead civilization? It was humbling and deeply depressing. Excerpts from Maurice Leon's journal.
Farmhouse Tavern, was it, huh? The food was better than I expected from a backwoods planet like this.
It has a quaint charm, doesn't it?
Just like the rest of New Homestead.
Well, I hope you'll come back and see us again sometime. And I hope you'll consider another Starsap tour. Tell your friends.
Bye. Will. Thanks again.
Excuse me, Bill. You've got to do a better job of keeping your tour groups out of trouble.
What do you mean?
That little boy almost wound up on my operating table. Claudio said he was playing with some of the machinery down by the mines and nearly got his arm stuck inside. It could have been ripped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, kids, little troublemakers. I'll tell the guests to be more careful.
Damn right. You've got to do something. Or else next time it happens, I'm billing you personally.
Yeesh.
What is this? Brochure, rough draft. Visit historical New Homestead and take a comprehensive, genuine Starsap tour. Learn about the early days of humanity's ventures into space. See how people lived in the colonies of yore. Speak and interact with traditional Titan citizens experiencing early colony life. Explore the frozen surface of Titan. Okay. Hey. Hello, Bill Starsap.
Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years.
That's interesting. I'd love to know more about New Homestead.
Well, there's plenty more where that came from if you're interested in taking one of my famous tours. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like.
No offense, but Starsap is an unusual name. Sounds almost made up.
None taken. I get it all the time. If you think it sounds made up, well, that's because it is. I come from an eccentric family. Back in the early days of space travel, generations ago, my ancestors were really into science fiction. They wanted a name that seemed like it fit into the stories they grew up with, so they changed their last name, and the Starsap family name was born. Used to be Bramblefoot before that. Their ancestors liked a different type of fiction.
Oh, man. Why would someone want a tour of New Homestead?
Why would I want a tour of New Homestead, he says?
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
Let me tell you, New Homestead is living history. These people are direct descendants of some of the first settlers to leave Earth. If you've ever wanted to know what that early colonial life was like, this is your chance to embark on a fun-filled exhibition unlike any other.
What do you recommend seeing while I'm here? Anything to avoid?
Definitely check out the Brown Horse Tavern. Good food, great atmosphere. Avoid spending too much time outdoors. It's freezing out there. Any more than that, and well, I'd be giving away the tour for free.
Okay, I'd like to go on a tour of New Homestead.
Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits.
I can pay 100 credits. I can bargain. I can say I don't want to. Let's pursue it. I'd like to, but that's more than I was hoping to spend.
Well, 100 credits is very reasonable, I think.
Can I manipulate? What I'm asking for is completely reasonable.
Stop trying to confuse me!
You kind of pulled a bait and switch on me.
I assure you it wasn't intentional. I really should have been upfront about the price. I thought maybe you saw one of the flyers. Maybe I could do something for you.
I know you'd like to help me if you could.
You don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but that's the price, and I'm not willing to go any lower right now. So what'll it be?
Yeah, sure thing.
Great! Let's get this show on the road, eh?
Let's.
All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astrobase, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about the museum collection. But first, let's go see where people live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that.
Of course.
While the original inhabitants of the Titan Astrobase lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me. Have any questions so far?
The overflow area looks cramped. What's with that?
Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy.
Can you tell me more about how people lived before this was all built?
The original Titan Astrobase had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those HAB units were recycled into materials used down here.
How many people live here?
I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds.
I'd like to check this out in more detail.
Oh, sure, I'll be here waiting. The locals love to talk with tourists, but they'll let you know if they're busy. So, please respect them.
I will.
Always so cold here. Ah! I just have so much energy. I want to run around. I kind of want to try food from that Chunks place. My papa says it's just a bunch of junk food for tourists.
Hey, Doc.
Another tourist. Just do me a favor and stay out of trouble. It's hard enough dealing with our own sick and injured.
Sure.
Great. Another tourist. Let me guess. You slipped on the ice and need a doctor to wrap your sprained ankle?
What's your problem with the tourists? Don't they help the local economy?
They do, but they're also a terrible burden for a small colony doctor like myself. I have enough trouble treating our own people with the time and resources I have.
I'm here visiting, but I'm not a tourist.
I appreciate that you're trying to set me at ease, but that might as well be the same. Sorry for how I responded. It's not you, it's me. I'm just frustrated about all the non-native people I need to treat when our own still need help. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Are there any dangerous hazards to worry about on Titan?
It's a harsh world, but as long as you're inside or wear a suit when going out, you'll be fine here. There's no breathable air on the surface, and you'll quickly freeze to death outside without protective gear, but otherwise the hazards are minimal. New Homestead was an early colony research base and has stood the test of time. It's safe, and it's proof that people can live pretty much anywhere. Don't worry so much.
Is it difficult being a doctor in such an old-fashioned community?
Even though we don't have shiny new medical facilities, I imagine it's easier than wherever you're from. We have fewer people here, and we're very responsible when it comes to our personal health and welfare. So there's not much I can't handle. For anything else, we can get access to off-world specialists. Contrary to popular belief, we're not primitive.
Sure. Let's not disturb her anymore. I'm just looking around. Let's... Oh, there was something. This is the lounge. Let's visit that. Oh, this is just the... I'm gonna take the credits. Definitely. No, nothing else. Not the food. Let's close them so that they don't think. Hey, Adrian. You seemed like you're gonna talk.
Oh, you don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates. Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am.
Please don't say that. I'm sure you're not a nobody.
I feel like it sometimes. I don't have many friends, and I'm struggling to stay in my undergrad program. It feels like I'm never going to get out of here and make a name for myself. Anyway, if we're going to talk, maybe we should talk about something else.
You mentioned something about the crates. What's that?
The crates are what we call the living quarters for the poor people, like me. They're made from old shipping containers. We have to make do with the space we have here. They're comfortable enough, I guess. And no one on Titan is well off to begin with, but you can tell that people look down on us, especially some of the tourists.
What do you do here in New Homestead?
Well, I'm trying to finish up my undergrad schooling, actually. I want to be a physicist like my grandmother. Then, who knows what. But I also do some odd jobs here or there for money. Sometimes I help Jay out at his shop, and he gives me stuff in return. Sometimes I help Anya clean up at the Brown Horse when she's short-staffed. That sort of thing.
Okay. How do you feel about your home being a tourist destination?
It's not as bad as you'd think. I like talking to off-worlders, especially people my age. It gives me ideas for what I want to do when I'm done with school. Because, honestly, I'm not sure I want to stay here. It'll always be my home, but as soon as I can afford to, I'd love to explore my options.
So you're having trouble with your studies?
Okay, well, no. Not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself.
So?
But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates. I keep having to take odd jobs just to put food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever.
Let's pay 20,000 credits. Consider this a scholarship.
What? Really?
Yes.
I don't know what to say. This is beyond kind of you. I mean, I don't even know you, but... Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not have the opportunity for a formal education of that kind, but I recognize its value. You are good to assist her.
Thank you, babe. How are you feeling about our marriage?
What do you think I will say? It is all right.
Yeah, something like that.
You are my love, my light, and you know it.
How about that? I don't know how to say this, but this isn't just working. I'll never get tired of hearing things like that.
Then I shall be sure and tell you more often, darling.
Must be nice to be able to afford to travel, huh?
Yeah, it is. Just when she, said,
Lots of history here. If you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, people are living in these crates, right? Let's go upstairs and see.
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
This guy doesn't have a bed either. Babe, what do you say we spend some time over here?
Well, that was exhilarating. You do just have the two hands, yes?
Babe, we have young
We used to get
viewers over
more
here.
tourists than we do these days.
What is over here? Bathroom? Do you have crates or anything left in the bathroom?
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
This is a suit. I can take that without stealing. Should have spent my time over here. Letter to the school board. To whom it may concern, my daughter Sylvia is a part of the UC Remote World Learning Program. In this month's study kit, she was assigned a book titled The Hills Cry Jamison. As I do all books assigned to her, I took to reading it first to judge suitability for my daughter. How do you get off giving her this garbage to read? Her assigned learning counselor tells us it's really about building friendships, learning to tolerate others' differences, and overcoming adversity. That's all fine and good. Those are important lessons, but I see it for what it is, nothing but propaganda, promoting your planet. My daughter is a proud new homesteader, and I see to it she remains that way. I don't want her getting silly ideas in her head about picking up from her home and family and moving to your consumer wasteland of a world. Sylvie will not be reading this book. I want my daughter to learn, but if you keep sending her material that pushes her away from me, I'll have no choice but to homeschool her, which places a huge burden on my family. Due to our farming responsibilities, please consider the reading material you send our way. Nathaniel Manila. Okay? I should not take that. Let me put it back. Somewhere. Yeah. Over there.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here.
You are a citizen.
How they can live anywhere else.
Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
QXB. Okay. So, let's go back to that guy.
They help the local economy.
And hey.
You'll never catch me.
Yeah, I can never catch you.
Have any questions so far?
Not really. I think I'm ready for whatever's next.
Alrighty. We'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
Feel free to look around, but don't touch.
Sure. Lead the way. Babe.
New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
Well, I could really go for some onions cooking over at the Brown Horse.
Any questions about the farms?
Are the farms still operational?
Oh, they are indeed. Colonists still cultivate plant-based food for their own consumption here in New Homestead. It's less vital to their survival these days, as they also import supplemental food from other colonies, including meats, dairy, and synthetics. However, most citizens here take pride in a New Homestead-grown, sustainable diet.
What do they grow here?
These days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hardy root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well.
How is this different than anywhere else in the galaxy?
Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere. But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots. Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems.
I'd like to look around a little more.
By all means, go right ahead. Feel free to talk to the farmers, but I ask you respect their privacy and don't bother them too much.
Of course.
After all, they are on the job. Come back and let me know when you're ready to move on.
Sure.
You all can travel the stars, but someone's got to respect and preserve the old soul traditions.
Hey, Sylvie.
I've heard about lots of other planets out there. Some of them sound pretty scary, though. Hello? I'm not really supposed to talk with tourists, but I kind of want to anyway. And I don't think my papa is paying attention. You're not going to tell him, are you?
I don't know. Maybe we should respect your parents' wishes.
It's just my daddy, really. My mama's okay with it. But, oh, fine. If you don't wanna, I get it.
I do wanna.
I love talking with tourists.
Me too.
So, I'll be here if you still want to talk.
Okay. Are there a lot of other kids in New Homestead?
Not really. There's some, though. Most are around my age. We all go to school in the same room.
Is school here the same as other schools in the settled system?
I don't know. I've never been to any other schools. We mostly learn about the history of the solar system and Earth and stuff like that until we get old enough to go on our learning vacation. That's when we get to leave to go to school somewhere else for a few years, or travel and visit other worlds, try out jobs and stuff. Oh, I can't wait.
So that means you are going to leave your papa. That is what your papa was telling your school. Why doesn't your dad want you talking to tourists?
My mama says it's because he thinks we'd up and leave if we found out about the rest of the worlds out there. But I keep telling him, I love it here, and I love him, and I would never leave him. He doesn't believe it. He says the kids almost always want to leave when they grow up. But not me. Nope. I just want to visit somewhere else. Maybe.
Yeah, that's how it starts. Do you enjoy working on the farm?
I think it's pretty fun. And I get to be around my mama and my papa all day, so that's cool. They say we all have to work a little, because it takes all of us to make the community work. Just like on Earth a really, really, really long time ago. Someday, I think it'd be cool to see other places and do other things, but this is fine for now.
Okay, don't leave your papa and mama, okay? Be there, little girl.
Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
Sure. Hey,
we Titans are hardy people.
Nathaniel
You have to be to live in a
Manila.
place like this. We get a lot of tourists out this way, but most of them aren't so bold as to strike up conversations with us. What's your deal?
I'm just interested in how civilization works on this planet.
You seem genuine enough.
Yes, I am.
So what can I do for you?
What can you tell me about your farm?
Well, for one, it's my wife Mara's farm. I just had the good fortune of marrying into it. It's been in her family for generations. We're the best source of fresh produce in the colony. Not like that processed junk we get from off-world, and certainly nothing like that eyesore chunks.
Yeah. What kind of challenges do you face farming on Titan?
From what I know about farming elsewhere, it's largely the same. Big difference is that we need to import or make our own soil. And we need to be extra careful with our temperature control. Titan's surface is frozen, and it's not much better just below it with the ice caves. Then it's just a matter of artificial sunlight and supplying CO2 for the crops. It's not too challenging.
I just wanted to chat for a little. Thanks for your time.
No worries. You have yourself a day now.
I believe I can see his wife. Mora Munich.
Do you come from one of those planets with beautiful skies and fresh air? My, how I'd love to visit one day. Hello. Don't mind me. It'd be nice to get away for a while, but it's difficult.
Aren't you gonna talk?
People rely on the farm. Thanks again for taking the time to answer questions for me.
What questions?
I learned a lot from you. The elders say that preserving our tradition is so important, but I keep hearing such wonderful things about other worlds.
Aren't you gonna...
Running this farm with... Do you come from one of those planets with... It'd be nice to get away for... Hello. Don't mind me. I love talking with off-worlders like you.
Hey.
Any questions about the farms?
Not really. Let's move on. I'm ready to move on.
Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me!
Sure. Lead the way.
The old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway.
That preserving our tradition is so
They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here.
Okay.
Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs.
What kind of life did they find here?
Funny you should ask. Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan Astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling and more, yet nothing turned up.
So, that was it? What did they use these labs for after no life was found?
Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage.
You keep mentioning the Titan Astrobase. What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site.
I'm not going to take any closer look. It's okay. We can keep moving.
You got it. On to our next stop. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's chilly out there.
If you need medical attention, see Dr.
Wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
We came through here, right? I believe so. We are leaving, my babe? I hope not.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astrobase. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. So, let's talk about wind power, shall we?
Sure. Do these turbines really power the entire colony?
Mostly. I'm sure you've noticed the occasional brownouts. I guess these old machines have a habit of freezing up, what with all the ice out here. There's some methane on reserve for critical life support systems, but everything else here is otherwise powered by the units you see here.
What's so interesting about wind power? Why is it part of the tour?
You're looking at a piece of history. Sure, wind power is used throughout the galaxy, but these people were able to make do with it for hundreds of years. It's impressive that was all they had back then, and still make it work to this day.
I didn't think Titan was all that windy.
You're right. Most surface wind on Titan isn't too terribly strong, but here, the altitude and other conditions are perfect for sustained wind power. Like many worlds with atmosphere, the higher you go, the windier it gets.
I want to take a closer look.
Absolutely. Careful, though. I wouldn't stand too close to the turbines if I were you.
Okay, we'll see about that. Babe, you are missing the fun. Okay, I believe I'm done.
So, let's talk about wind power, shall we?
No, we won't. We have already talked. Actually, I think I'd like to move on.
You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. So of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right?
Yes, we were.
Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled systems. Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. That's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions. Questions? Fire away!
What do they do with all this methane?
Exports mostly, since this world is so methane-rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen via modern science.
Which method do they use to turn methane into oxygen?
Oh, no one's ever asked me that before.
He's mumbling.
Something to do with methane-eating microbes, I believe? I honestly don't know. Sorry.
How can they shut the plant down for maintenance if people rely on it to live?
Yeah, it's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs.
I'd like to take a moment here.
Take your time. But not too much time. Don't want to keep other customers waiting, you know.
Wow. It is a nice place. Should I go and check out this place? There's a crate, there's a crate. Okay, let's see. I'll have to take it. Credits, 0, well, let's take that.
We have resorted to theft now, I see.
Yeah, we always do. You always do that, babe. There's our guy. Yeah, Bill.
Questions? Fire away.
No more questions right now.
Okie dokie, artichoke. There will be time for more later anyway. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn.
Ymir's Horn?
This collis used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel.
Is it that one?
It was changed a couple hundred years ago to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a collis, you might say? Collis derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, colis, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here it is, Ymir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like.
How did this collis form?
I've heard this particular formation was caused by an ancient volcano. Something about steam and wind, then worn down over time. But I'm not 100% sure.
Ymir, who's that?
According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giant. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits.
Wow.
Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse.
Okay.
It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it.
I'll be right back.
Just be careful. It can get slippery out that way. I'll wait here.
I'll have to, right? You're gonna, you know what I'm gonna do. Yes, I want to. Come on. Oh, that is the top, babe. Yes. Whew, that is a good one. Hey, where did you go? Hey. Oh. Come on. Okay. let's do one thing. Let's take a picture of ourselves in this Ymir's. Woo! That is awesome. That's awesome. Let's take the picture and let's take a close one with me and my babe staring at each other. Come on. Okay. So this picture says a lot. Who's the boss? Okay, I believe we are done. Babe, so let's do one thing. So that's it for this episode. We are going to end the rest of the tour in the next episode. So if you're not a sub, please consider subscribing, because that is my field and you can see my ship from here, and you know how big it is. So while you subscribe, don't forget to press that bell icon so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the thumbs up button, and if you did not, well, that's a pity, but you can press the thumbs down button, which I will urge you not to do. I hope to see you guys in the next episode, where we will continue this tour and finish it, and hopefully move to a new mission. Till then, stay safe, take care, and bye-bye. MUFS signing off.